So, once again, welcome to the GMAP Broadcast Network. She is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network. All you have to do is stop by our broadcast platform at gmap1.com. Click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Authors, and I promise you will see a copy of the publication I'm currently showing you on our screen, The Years in Between. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for her, and thank God for her presence right here on the GMAP platform. We take time out to welcome Anthea to our show. Good afternoon, young lady. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Pastor Kevin. I absolutely love your energy.
Oh, thank you.
It's quite infectious.
Oh, I hope so.
It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon.
And we are just overwhelmed with joy to have you here. Once again, we thank God for you. We thank God for your presence, taking time out to be here this afternoon, and of course, accepting the invitation to be a part of our broadcast network family as one of our featured authors. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, just stop by our platform. But with no further ado, I'm going to give this young lady an opportunity. Anthea, I want you to just do me a kind favor. Step on in, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us where you're from. Who is Anthea? I mean, tell us about you.
I would love to know myself, actually, but I'm still discovering that. So I'm Anthea Piscarik. I live in Delaware on the East Coast. It's a state that a lot of people have been through to get from point A to B. It's the second smallest state. I'm also an identical twin. My twin is Maria, and I've been a writer for most of my professional life. I started in high school. It was interesting. A sister, a nun, read something of mine out loud, didn't say who it was, and said, this person needs to be writing on our school newspaper. So I was called out even back then because I hesitated. A lot of people in the arts, they question their abilities, their talents. So from high school on, I just continued writing. I wrote short stories. I had one published in college. I wrote one-act plays. And then I went into journalism.
Wow.
And I loved writing feature articles because the people I interviewed, their quotes were like dialogue, like characters' dialogue. And that led me into more creative writing with the short stories and all of that. And the plays I had 2 plays in One Act Play Festival. So I was always mining that part of myself, the writer. And yeah, it's something, it's Pastor Kevin, I don't know if writers, I've always said I'm miserable when I'm writing, but I'm even more miserable when I'm not. It's like, it's that tortured soul thing. Wow. I think I'm over it at this point in my life. That was me, the earlier Anthea. But then I actually studied screenwriting in Los Angeles. And I love movies. I think I grew up in a movie theater. My twin sister and my dad used to take us every weekend to see a movie. My mom would choose one for us, and I just love movies.
Right.
And I took that avenue with my creative writing, and I loved it. It was Act One Writing for Hollywood. It was a Christian screenwriting program.
Oh, wow.
And that was, it was in 1999. We were the pioneer group. We were the very first group of Act One. And there were 30 of us that were chosen from all over the country and Canada. And we toured the whole program, and it's still alive, and it's replicated all over the country. So whatever we did, we kept it, we rooted it into something that grew into a beautiful avenue for people in the creative arts and the filmmaking industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So I still do the screenwriting. So I say that I'm an identical twin with a, creatively speaking, split personality. Because it's like there's the author that battles with the screenwriter.
Right.
And very different disciplines in writing, because an author, you can as long as you know the rules, you can break them.
Right.
In
Right.
screenwriting, you can break them. I read a book that was just one sentence, the entire book.
Wow.
Just one sentence. It was an Irish book. Yeah. So that's really breaking the rule, avant-garde writing. But in screenwriting, 1 minute of screen time is 1 page of script.
Right.
And it's very, very exacting and very sparse. And in the meantime, was also writing, after I did the screenwriting stint, I came back and I was a grant writer for a nonprofit. And that was That was a very specific kind of writing too. Like you're basically down to like 5 vowels, like support, offer, provide. I mean, it has its place. You do great arguments, you get the money, but it wasn't feeding me as a creative writer.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
yeah. So
Wow.
I had this grant writer and I had the screenwriting, and I thought, you know what? I need to get back into a more creative, like the short stories I was writing years ago. And I came up with this idea for Unearthing Christmas that came from a dream. It was the craziest dream. Actually, it was not crazy. It was very simple. It was cleared away dirt with poinsettia garland just draped across it. And I said to myself, there's a story under there. And I even wrote down the visual. I still had the little piece of paper. And that dreams turned into my first novel. I started it as a screenplay, and I said, "No, Anthea, you're not playing this game anymore." It's like I love the movie industry, but it's like playing the lottery.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, to get anything done. So I thought I need to own something myself.
Right.
So I stopped writing the script and I wrote the novel.
Wow. I tell you, I'm
And
just. Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah, it was crazy. So it's basically, I won't go on and on about it, but it's about a girl in 1955
Uh huh.
who is incensed that her mother buys this aluminum Christmas tree and ruins Christmas for her. So she convinces her father to allow her to use his bomb shelter that he's so proud of
Uh huh.
to recreate her own Christmas room. And then 60 years later, another 14-year-old and her two friends cover it, completely preserved from 60 years ago, 1955, and it becomes a supernatural meeting ground between the two girls. And
Ah.
it is a faith-based too. There is more to the story about who that 1955 apparition is in her life
Uh huh.
that you find out. There's a mystery to it. But that book became an Amazon bestseller
Oh.
and is the genesis or the actual seminal one in this series that continues with The Years in Between, which is
Wow.
the book that I am now marketing. It's okay. It's been a couple of years since it was published, but I I kind of put it to the side because the screenwriting world took over and some of my film projects were coming to life. And
Right.
you know that's that juggling act in life with a creative. You know, you work with what's popping,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I put it aside, but now it's like coming back to life. And it is part of a series, but it's also a standalone, which means you don't
Mm.
have to read Unearthing Christmas, the whole story behind The Years in Between.
Right. Wow.
So I am so excited to now be working on the third book. I was just at a writers' conference in Baltimore over the weekend, and Pastor Kevin, it fed me as an author because I'd been away from it because I do have a screenwriting project that's moving forward.
Uh huh. Oh,
We just finished. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
wow.
But it's, you know, I don't know if I could say anything, but the short was already done,
Uh huh.
and it's about Ella Fitzgerald. Because
Ah.
yes, I worked on that script for 10 years, and I was actually working with a record producer who knew Ella's son, Ray
Okay.
Brown Jr.
Okay.
And I was working with the two of them, Shelley and Ray Brown Jr. And then Shelley, I didn't realize he was battling cancer, and he died in 2019.
Ah.
And I thought, I know, we worked on it for 4 years, and we thought we were going to get this thing developed. And I said to myself, I got to keep going for Shelley, for Ella, because I love Ella's story, her
Right.
story of
Right.
success.
Right.
And I could never understand why there was never a biopic done of her. And I
Mm.
remember when I first spoke to Shelley, he said, "Oh, sweetie, we've had lots of biopics, but yours is the one."
Ah.
And
Ah.
yeah,
You know,
so
I can only imagine because I'm going to have yet another conversation with you just to talk about that. I
I
tell you
know
because
it's too exciting.
it's amazing, and of course, I'm going to encourage our individuals and our viewers and listeners around the world today. You mentioned unearthing Christmas, which is
Yes,
the Miriam Chronicles, book one.
yes,
I'm showing that on the screen right now. I want people to show their love, care, concern, and support when they go to your website, and of course, we'll be talking about that
right.
shortly. But Also, your latest publication we want to talk about, The Years in Between. Break down. Tell us a little bit about that issue.
God bless you. Get me back on track because I
I'm
was
no word,
spinning
no
the whole
word, no. I
I know.
love it. I love it. I love it. Keep going. Oh my goodness, this is
No, I got to
outstanding.
tell you something. When I was in second grade, my report card said, I know this is another tangent, reads with too much expression. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, really. It's like there was something there already, I guess.
Right,
But
right.
so the years in between. So what happened is one of the characters from 1955 that was in Unearthing Christmas, I thought I was done with Unearthing Christmas, although I did have a publisher who said that a series sells better marketing wise than a one-off book. And I said to her, it's interesting because I do have other ideas, for some of the other characters for their own stories, and I even had all the titles of the 5 books. And she signed me for a contract for 5 novels, and the second one being The Years in Between. So the character in the first one that we meet in 1955, we meet her at later, 60 years later, but we don't know her story in between. And that character, Pastor Kevin, I know this sounds crazy. She's like tapping me on the shoulder. It's like, excuse me, you need to tell my story. I
Oh my
I
goodness.
was one. It was it was a deep dive because as a news reporter, a former news reporter, I love doing research.
Mm-hmm.
And the book takes place in the latter part of the 20th century. So there's so much that happens in the world from like 1955 to 2019. It ends right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
The world has changed so much. It's mind boggling. I have a mother-in-law who was probably the same age, just 16 in 1955. She's more current on emojis and stuff than I am. And I mean, there was nothing like this when she was a teenager.
Right,
So
right.
it was a great research effort for me because I love doing that. But this character, the 1955 14-year-old, loses her mother, her father, and her best friend in a deadly tornado while she's sound asleep in that bomb shelter decorated for Christmas. And that's how that's the first paragraph of the book. So it says, and if you don't mind, it's the first 3 sentences.
Uh-huh.
And it says right here, I will read it. Lori Hopkins heard the news from her grandmother. Her best friend, Joy, was found lifeless from a deadly tornado,
Oh.
the same one that killed Lori's mom and dad. Okay. No, so you think, well, what a downer. It's like,
Right,
do I need
right.
to read anymore? But this is where her story begins because now she has her own journey and she has survivor's guilt
Right.
because she survived something because she fell asleep in a bomb shelter and missed the whole storm. And yes, so what she does, and this is a crazy story, she is a roller coaster of a ride. She lives in harm's way. She's a photojournalist and she goes to Vietnam. And this is all like the latter part of the 20th century. So there's a lot of different things happening within that time period, culturally.
Right.
And she's just living life in harm's way because she's testing her own fate. And she has this anger towards God. How could God allow this to happen in her life? So she's a very angry young girl. And what she needs to learn is to love herself because she has this survivor's guilt.
Right.
She feels this shame for something that was not her fault. And this is why, and I mean, it's like a love story because she learns to love herself and the people around her. And what I love about this story is what I've learned, and I know in my own life, is the people put in our path, they help us along and they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And like, that saying, it could be for a reason or a season.
Mm-hmm.
The people that I bring into her life in this story, when you look back at the story, the part they played in bringing her back to wholeness is just such a great journey. And I fell in love with this character. It's like she lived with me for like 7 years.
Wow.
The only thing is, I think she's like telling me, Anthea, you're not doing much to market me, You better get on it, girlfriend.
The years in between, and
yeah,
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all of our viewers and listeners around the world who's going to simply show
Thank
their
you.
love, care, concern, and support. Go out, purchase a copy, and of course, I can't forget about Unearthing Christmas, because that's something new. And of course, you have kind of broke down already your plans beyond this, because I was going to, in fact, ask that question, what's next for you? But
Wow.
it's a lot going on, and of course, we're going to encourage all of our viewers and listeners, because I already know for a fact that we have to do a part two, as they say, for our conversation. Because no, I'm loving your energy. I'm loving the information. I'm getting thumbs up from our partners now, because this is outstanding. I mean, you went from Unearthing Christmas to the years in between, and you have something coming up in the very near future. I'm going to
Yeah.
encourage people, show your love, care, concern, and support. Go out, share this information, share this conversation, and of course, show your support. Make sure you purchase a copy of not one but both of the current publications, and please, when you do so, leave a review. Leave a review. That's so
Amen.
important. That's so very important. And of course, I'm going to just ask, and I want you to share that information. If someone wanted to show their support and go out and purchase a copy today, and or reach out and touch base with you on a more individual basis, what's that process? Can you share that information with us?
I would love to share that. So right now on Amazon, anyone can actually download the Kindle version for free if they have a Kindle. The ebook without the Kindle is $4.99, and right now I am um, have a sale going for the paperback. It's typically $14.95, but I've reduced it to $9.99 on Amazon, and I'm going to keep it there through August,
Mm.
because people are still in summer mode and they might want something to read. And I'm a paperback, hardback person.
Uh huh.
I like turning pages, so I'm going to leave that at $9.99 for now. And anyone who wants to reach me, I have two websites. My author website is obviously www, and it's my name, Anthea T as in Tom or Teresa,
Mm-hmm.
Piscarik. Anthea T Piscarik.com.
Oh my goodness, and that's yeah, and I'm encouraging all of you. By all means, make sure you show your love, care, concern, and support. Visit the website. You're going to find out so much great information about this outstanding, amazing young lady, and of course, she
Um,
is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network. GMAP1.com. Simply stop by our platform, click on the tab that is titled Featured Authors. You will see a copy of the publication I'm currently showing you on our screen, The Years in Between. Click on that cover. It will take you to the necessary location to find out more intimate information and details about the author, as well as the publication. And of course, I'm excited because there's so much outstanding information that we're going to be sharing in the very near future. And of course, again, I want you to share, if someone wanted to reach out to you and maybe touch base with you on a more individual basis and find out some of your future plans, some of the things that you've been through and so on, what's the process for them to do that? I mean, how can you be reached?
I can be reached by email. I can give you the email address. It's actually, you can get to the email through my website, antheatpiscarik.com, or directly, which is my first initial, A, and the last name, Piscarik at gmail.com. And I would love to hear from anyone who's interested in the book or what I'm doing. I actually just, Pastor Kevin, just last week, I did a promo of the ebook or the Kindle version that was, and some people just downloaded it for free. I heard from a New York Times bestseller who sold millions of books, said, "You are a phenomenal writer."
Ah,
So I know I could, and she wanted to get in touch with me directly. I was so touched by that.
right.
And yeah, and I would love to hear from anyone who's read the book. I just would love to hear how it might have affected them or what they thought of it. I love hearing from readers.
Well,
It's so important to be connected with people because we're all storytellers.
I'm going to tell
That's
you
what
this.
authors are. They're storytellers, and I love to hear from readers.
And
I
there,
would
and
love it.
I'm already on that, because I received a couple of texts that said, I'm going to have to bring you back just so the viewers and listeners around the world could call in and ask a few questions, because they have them. And of course, I just want the world to know, Anthea, I love the name, but it means like a flower. You
It
know,
does.
it's a beautiful thing, and of course,
Thank
she
you.
she presents herself just like that, like a
Thank
flower,
you.
enthusiastic and full of growth. I love that, and I'm looking forward to just taking time out to invite you back personally here on the GMAP Broadcast Network. I want to get more in detail about some of the things that you have planned for the future, some of the things that you've experienced, especially with the short stories and the Ella Fitzgerald story. I'm going to want to hear more information about that as well. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to show your love, care, concern, and support. I'm showing it to you. The years in between. Stop by our broadcast network platform. Click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Authors. You'll see a copy of the publication I'm currently showing you. And of course, click on that cover. It will take you to the necessary location to find out more intimate information and details about the author as well as the publication. And don't forget about the first edition, the first release, Unearthing Christmas. I
Yes.
want you to show your love and support for that as well. Share this information with all of your followers, your family, your friends. I mean, hey, you share everything else on Facebook, share this too. It's real simple. And of course, I just can't thank you enough because I already know our partners, they're going to want you back. I want you back. And I want to hear more in detail about some of the other great things you have in mind and have planned. I'm just overwhelmed and filled with joy right here and right now. Once again,
Thank you.
Anthea, I'm amazed at your enthusiasm as well. And of course, I appreciate you, number one, for being here with us today. And of course, accepting the invitation to be a part of our broadcast network family. I'm gonna move over, let you have your final thoughts, closing remarks, and final words here before we let you go. So I'm gonna move over and say, Anthea, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, thank you once again, Pastor Kevin. I love your energy too. You have a joyful spirit. I can tell it. I knew it from the first time we spoke.
Amen.
But I have learned, don't give up on your dreams. Prayer, perseverance, and patience. It just get through, because if you give up, the only thing that will guarantee no success is giving up. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's the only thing that will.
right,
So just keep at it, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whether it's writing or anything in the arts or
right,
anything that you want personally. The
right.
one thing about Unearthing Christmas, I should tell you, I pray for this because I'm trying to find a new publisher. My publisher merged with another one who republished it, but it's still available on Amazon. Used copies are being sold, so I need to get it.
Wow.
I know it's crazy. The supply and demand. People are paying $30 for used paperbacks
Right.
because it's so popular.
Wow. Oh my.
So I am praying to get a new publisher
Well,
for
you know
that.
what? You know what I always say when you pray, sit back, relax. You only have to ask once because I tell you, in order for
Mhm.
God to come in and really, get involved in your situation, you have to invite him in. And you've already done that. And I'm a firm believer, just piggybacking off of what you said, I'm a firm believer that your destiny was determined before your delivery. And you have to simply prepare yourself to embrace the process. The process is never easy, but if you stand firm and continue on your journey, your destiny is inevitable. And if you are writing, if you are broadcasting, if you are doing whatever it is that your passion is and you have a dream, continue, as you said, continue to move forward, and the rest will take care of itself. He always steps in. I already know I'm going to have to give you a call back and invite you back on the show maybe next week or next and something like that. But I am excited because some of our viewers and listeners are going to want to have a few questions. So in the meantime, I just have to say thank you so very much for being here today and sharing the information that you shared. Once again, the years in between. We want you to purchase your copy, leave a review, click on the cover located on our platform. It'll take you where you need to go. And don't forget about Unearthing Christmas. I won't forget that. I won't allow you to forget it. And of course, one of our featured authors, Anthea, and we're going to be having her back. So pay attention to our broadcast network schedule. Until next time, I want you all to continue to be blessed, be a blessing, have a fantabulous rest of your afternoon. Anthea, I look forward to talking with you again soon. Until then, continue doing what you're doing as you're on this journey. And if there's anything, and I mean anything that we can do to continue to assist you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, let us know. Let me know. Pick up that phone, give me a call. And when you do so, I want you to know the answer will always be yes, and you'll never have to ask me twice, okay?
Amen.
I appreciate you. I appreciate our viewers and listeners, our partner networks. You keep it locked. We got more great stuff on the way. Until then, may God continue to bless you and yours and all those that are connected to you. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thank you. It's been a pure joy. Thank you.
It has been my pleasure.